Good morning, good morning. I wanted to do a video this morning about empowerment versus disempowerment, because we have Mars going into retrograde at the end of the month, and I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing it in my clients, and I can see it in the world around me and with people in general, that there's this like energy that's building up. Like we've the eclipses coming anyway. The eclipses, they're going to be very karmic and, bringing big change by themselves. But this Mars energy, like Mars is a hot planet, brings hot emotions. And where normally we might be able to like more easily express and channel those emotions and that energy, it's going to feel like it's just a lot more contained and like pent up. So what I wanted to do was talk about empowerment versus disempowerment. So the first thing I'd like to say to you is when we have an emotional response to something, okay, rather than feeling disempowered by it, like, oh, this thing has happened and I feel like, oh my God, why does this keep happening to me? What we want to look at is like, what's the overriding emotion in behind it? So when life throws something at you, whether it's any kind of a repetitive pattern, it could be a cycle that's in your relationship that keeps showing up over and over again. It could be to do with your career, it could be to do with your work colleagues, it could be to do with home, it could be to do with how people treat you, how you're viewed, how you show up in the world, all these different themes. What I would say to you, regardless of what it is, you want to look at like, what is the theme and what is it showing me? So life happens and upends you and you feel disempowered, right? You feel like, why is this happening to me? Like, what did I do wrong? Why is this happening to me? Why does this keep showing up? We can choose that, and to be honest with you, most of us are set on factory default settings to choose that outcome, like, why is this happening to me, and feel really disempowered. Like, you will feel it in your core will feel weak, it'll literally feel like weak in your core and like hopeless and like you want to give up and all these kind of like very low vibrational, low frequency energies in the pit of your stomach, like, because it's like you've kind of given your power away, or you feel hopeless or helpless. And this is more natural than we believe, because we've never been taught how to process these emotions. We've never been taught how to do them. And so what I would say is, when you're working with me, like, this is going to be a video trying to give you a view into it, but obviously to go deeper you can work with me. But the whole thing is that you want to feel empowered in those moments. And I can tell you, as somebody who used to feel very disempowered when life would kind of throw shit at me, now I look at most of what happens and I'm like, no, I say most because I still get caught by surprise, right? But I look at most of what happens as like, ooh, what's the pattern in this? Like, what is this trying to show me? What is this trying to make me aware of? So life happens, you feel disempowered, you feel like, why is this happening? Instead of going like, oh my God, woe is me, you can kind of think to yourself, what is the story I'm telling myself? The story I'm telling myself is that I'm not worthy. The story I'm telling myself is this keeps happening over and over again. The story I'm telling myself is I'm not good enough, or the story I'm telling myself is that people don't respect me, or people don't love me, or that whatever the story is. So you want to say, or the story I'm telling myself is I'm not loved, okay, or I'm not lovable. And then the first thing you want to do is ask yourself, is that true? Is that true? So the story I'm telling myself is nobody loves me. But is that true? Like, are there other people in your life that do love you, that perhaps you're not connecting with, or perhaps that you're not allowing them to love you, or perhaps you've shut yourself out to love? So the story I'm telling myself is whatever it is, and then is it true? Yes or no? And then what you want to do is look at, like, what's the overwhelming like need in behind that? The need is to feel loved. Okay, well, and by who? Like, who do I not feel loved by? Because you could be loved by lots of people, and it could be a particular type of love that you're craving, like the love of a partner. So what you want to do is look at, like, what is the need that's not being met, and what is the need that you're trying to have met, and what is it that's making you feel disempowered. And then once you've kind of figured out what is the need that you are really craving, you can start to work with that in a deeper way. I do this in my own life, and I teach my clients how to do this in a way where we kind of, it's so hard to like just tell ourselves, oh, I love you, Deborah. Like, it just doesn't feel authentic, right? But it's much easier when we can kind of split parts of ourselves off and do it in a much more objective way. And when I have clients in session with me, quite often what I'll get them to do is I'll be like, okay, close your eyes and actually do this with me now, right? Let's do an exercise. Hopefully this will work. It's alive, it's a video. We'll just shoot for the breeze. So I want you to think about something that's really, really triggering you at the moment, or really causing you to feel disempowered or disappointed or let down or hopeless or whatever it is, okay? So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to come out of your head and into your heart. So I want you to feel into your body. What does that feeling feel like? So become really, really up close and personal with whatever that feeling of disappointment, hopelessness, despair, sad, grief, whatever it is, frustration, irritation. So get up close and personal with it. And then what I want you to do is I want you to put a colour on it. Okay, so humour the craziness for a moment. When we use symbols and colours and textures and feelings, we're easier to get in at these things, okay? So you put a colour on it. And then you put a texture on it. And then you put a shape on it. So if this feeling was in my body and it was anger, what colour would it be? It would be red. How big would it be? It would be huge. Would it be inside or outside your body? It will be outside my body. What shape is it? It's circular. What's the texture? It's rough. Where in my body could it be if it was in my body? In my belly, okay? So this is kind of where you want to go. Then what you want to do, so you want to record that emotion, like record it like you're on a VCR, 80s kids out there, record it like as if you're really, really getting up close and personal with that emotion. And then what you're going to do is you're going to park that for a moment. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine for a moment what it would feel like if that had just disappeared, evaporated and was gone. How would it feel? What colour would it be? It would be, you do your colour for a moment and then I'll show you. So what colour would it be if that emotion, that feeling was just completely gone, evaporated? What texture would it be? What shape would it be? Where would it be? Would it be inside or outside your body? If it's inside your body, where would it be? How big is it? What temperature is it? And feel how that feels. Is it expansive? And really get into the feeling of like, if you were completely free and easy in yourself, how would it physically feel in your body? And you want to really record that emotion. So it might look something like, okay, if the anger, frustration, the big red ball and whatever wasn't there, how would it feel? Oh, it would feel amazing. It would feel like white and clear, and it would feel expansive like air, and it would feel soft in texture, and it would feel like it doesn't have a shape because it's everywhere and it's around me, and it would be warm, okay, for argument's sake. Then what you want to do is I want you to, and then you record that image really, really solidly, and then I would get you to then jump back into the other image. So you jump into the red, angry, frustrated ball, whatever the other image was, and you would bring that up into your body and kind of just really feel into the colours and the textures and get up close and personal with it. And then I would get you to jump out of that and jump into the colours of the white and the expansive air and the feeling of lightness and the warmth. And then I would get you to keep jumping from picture to picture. So what you're going to do is you're jumping from picture to picture, and you're going to get like this kind of confusedness where it all starts to kind of blend together. And then what I do with my clients is I get them to breathe into their body the colour that feels the good colour. So like the white, expansive, freeing, opening kind of feeling. I get you to breathe that down to where the other feeling was, where the red was, and get it to like mix in with that colour, and then get you to breathe out the red colour and breathe in the white all the way down into where the other red colour was, getting it to mix around and mix up and then breathing out the red. And I would get you to keep doing that until you felt that the white had kind of mixed enough in with the red to take over, and that you had breathed out this red colour and as much as you could possible, you know. And what I find then with clients is that this tends to shift and change. The texture, we do a check-in, like what colour is it now? Where is it in your body? How big is it? What texture is it? What temperature is it? What shape is it? And then when we're doing that, there's a feeling of like it just shifts and transforms. And then you want to kind of feel into, does that feel good? Does it feel okay? Do you want to go do more work with it? And the ego might be like, no, I don't want to do any more work with it. I'm done now. Like, we're all done. Time to go. Because the ego is like, you're getting really close in at something. And it's like, okay, let's have enough of that now. So feel in past the resistance of, is it done? Does it feel completed? Is it something that we can kind of go in and work with again? And I would say 9 times out of 10, it might feel like a no, but it probably is a yes if you go past the resistance. Honor whatever works for you. This can be tiring work when you're first starting to do it. So then in that case, you would go back in, you go, okay, how does it feel? It feels pink now, and it feels small, and it feels more condensed and compact, like a little ball. And it might feel like smooth and hard, and it might feel like it's like in your solar plexus now. And it might feel like it's okay, but you'd still like to do more work with it. So you feel into that new feeling, you give it all its different components, and then you kind of go, okay, put that to one side. Now, if that was completely lifted and gone, how would it feel? And it might feel like that white kind of expansive colour, or it might feel different. It might feel like, oh, well, now it's purple, like it's beautiful iridescent purple colour, okay? So what you would do is you go, ooh, it would feel like a really purple iridescent colour, and like I'd feel it all up my back and all down my sides, and I would feel it in my body, and it would feel straight like a core, whatever. And then you'd be like, okay, can you really, really feel that now? Can you record that? And you'd be like, okay, yeah, I can do that. So then what you want to do is you want to jump from that, when you've fully recorded, you want to jump from that into the pink ball energy that you're with. And you want to feel back into that fully, and then you're going to jump back into the new purpley colour, or whatever colour it was. And then you're going to jump back till it starts getting a little bit muddly. And then what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in that purple light all the way down into that little ball, the pink ball, and you're going to breathe out the pink colour that represents that ball. Breathe in the purple, this new strong core feeling. Breathe out that pink colour, and you keep doing that till the purple is kind of like taken over that space, and you've breathed it all out. And then you kind of just sit there in that feeling that you were trying to get to, which is like, you'll know the feeling. It'll be in your cells, it'll be in your DNA, it'll be in your body. It'll feel like this really core, strong resonance of, oh, that feeling is gone. And now when you go back into the other emotion, like the one that you had at the very beginning, if I said, go back to that moment where you were feeling really triggered and you had that emotional response, how do you feel now? And you'll find either that it's gone completely and you can't even remember what it was about, or you'll find that it will have changed, or you'll have a different perspective, or you'll find that it just doesn't even matter now. You know, you'll remember, but the emotional charge has gone out of it. And that's a really, really good effective tool for being able to like cope with emotions and empowerment versus disempowerment. Because when something kind of triggers us and makes us, inverted commas, because nothing makes you feel disempowered, it gives you the opportunity to feel disempowered, and we often take that. But when something comes up and that's how we react to it, sometimes the automatic reaction to feel empowered is to get aggressive with somebody else so we can have control, or to manipulate them and make them feel bad so that we can have control again, or to make them aware of how bad a person they are for making us feel like that so that we can get back control. Because when we're kids, right, and you know, we're not seen, heard or understood by family or whoever it is, you know, as kids, they don't have the emotional intelligence to be able to get their needs met in a way that's like communicating. You know, they don't have the language to be able to go, you know, ask any kid that's thrown a tantrum, what's wrong? I don't know. You know, they don't know, they don't have the language for it. And so we're walking around in this world like grown-up kiddies who don't have any language for our emotions. And when we're upset and we're feeling angry or sad or frustrated or whatever it is, quite often we don't really know why, because the moment has been and gone, it's past, and we haven't dealt with it. We haven't processed the information. And then what happens is it gets stuck in your energy field, and it becomes like this knot, and it becomes a block, and it becomes frustrating and irritable and causes anger and all these different things. And then what happens is, because we don't like this toxicity or this cocktail of emotions that we're feeling in our body from all this unprocessed emotion, that we have a tendency to either split and like hang out up here, which means we've memory fog because we're not connected in with our body, we don't feel our emotions, we're not reacting in a normal way, not responsive in a normal way, we're desensitized, disconnected, and we're not in our body to feel our intuitive responses either. So when I'm doing Reiki with people, quite often they're out here, like trying to get people to come back into their body so that it feels safe to be in their body, so that then they can feel grounded, so that then they can feel connected, so that then they can feel like have that core strength and that core power. It's just huge. Most people are not doing that. Most people are like having these life experiences and then they're like, gone, you know, I'm going to hang out up here because it's way more comfortable in the ethereal realms where they don't have to deal with all the sludgy, weird emotions that are going on in my body. So if it seems like a hard thing for you to do these, using the colours and kind of developing this language with this other part of yourself, and by the way, this other part of yourself might become you might end up working with like 3 or 4 or 5 different emotions at one time. They just kind of layer and build. And this is why in a video I can't really, obviously I can't do that with you via video, but when I have clients with me, you know, they might, especially when they're getting to a block where they get in so far with using this process and then they get stuck, quite often it's because there's a part of them that is afraid to go forward or afraid to do the work, and then you need to give that invisible part that's sticking you, you need to give them a voice. So what color would it be? It would be invisible. It would be like a blank wall. It would be like a brick. It would be like whatever. So even the parts of you that have nothing to say have a shape, color, texture, and whatever. And giving the invisible parts, the parts that you can't get in at, that keep you stuck, giving them a voice, giving them an outlet for expression and a way for you to help reparent them and make those parts of yourself feel safe, can be absolutely transforming. It's incredible. You know, this is why I say the work that I do, even though it's Reiki and astrology and holistic life skills that I do, it's much more than that. I have a lifetime of collected so many modalities, and I use them in each and every session as a means of being able to empower you to get past your own blocks. So if you have something that's going on at the moment, and you're curious and wondered, like, is this something that you know that could help you? I do Reiki, I do astrology, and I do holistic life skills training and coaching. So if it's something that you want to work with me directly, just let me know, drop me a message. If you're just curious, just drop me a message. If you want to have a quick chat and that's all that you want to do, to just, maybe you've got something going on at the moment and you're not sure, maybe you need a little bit of support with it, just drop me a message as well. But otherwise, I hope that this little tool has been in some way helpful for you. And if you want to dive deeper and do a little bit more of that in a more therapeutic setting, obviously message me as well. You can go to deborahjkelly.com for my full list of services. But otherwise, drop me some comments below and have a lovely day. Bye.